Girbeagly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Girbeagly with another episode of Gaming with Girbeagly, and I'm once again playing the game Heartbaked, and I'm very excited to be back because I'm so excited to find out if Ginger ends up with Radley, and I want to see what sort of progress we can make in this episode, because last episode, it was just a whole bunch of awkward attempts and Ginger didn't really get anywhere with Radley, although there seems to be an inkling of something between the two of them. Honestly, there does. Maybe it's just the fact that they're getting older and all of those childhood feelings are finally coming to a head, but I'm really excited to find out, because, I mean, Ginger is just a really fun, spunky character to voice and to read as, and Radley is a complete goofball, and I love that she has decorated her little journal with things about Radley here. I like that that's a nice touch. This whole game has been incredibly well polished. You know, you guys have seen a lot of the visual novels that I played on the channel, and some of them are released by very big publishers and developers, and this one is just made by a small indie team, and while that doesn't discount it from being a good game, this has a surprising amount of polish. I've been really impressed, and I like this game quite a bit. The writing's just really, really funny so far. But anyway, let's go ahead, let's continue with day 3, see if we can make any progress here on the dating front.
I paced around my bedroom and huffed. This wasn't how I planned to start my day, but it was absolutely necessary. Yesterday went horribly, and I seriously needed to reconsider my technique. Or maybe I should actually come up with a technique. Okay, Ginger, you're going to go down there and you're going to ask him, no, tell him that he's going on a date with you tonight. I pep-talked myself. The hardest part would be making sure he doesn't interrupt me. I looked into my mirror and nodded to myself. Nothing was going to get in my way today. This was happening. It was 100% happening. One peek out my window told me that I was running later than usual. If I didn't hurry, then I wouldn't have time to even look at Radley, never mind making plans with him. I rushed down the stairs, hoping to get the day started as fast as I could, but as soon as I was at the bottom of my stairs, I could hear yelling. Uh-oh. I stepped into the shop and was greeted with a very short, very angry old lady. She was tapping her foot impatiently and glaring forks and knives at poor Radley, yelling at him for pastries knows what. Radley didn't seem too bothered, though. He continued sweeping the front of the shops as if she wasn't there. I could only assume she had already been yelling at him for some time.
You! Do you know how long I have been waiting here? Are you trying to make me wait until I wither away to crumbs?
She turned her attention to me. Her voice was one that sounded very much like a man trying to impersonate a woman.
Well, believe it or not, I am a man trying to impersonate a woman, so how fitting. I was half tempted to ask her to leave for shouting at me in my own bakery, but still. Even if she has been a complete jerk, she's a customer.
I'm sorry, ma'am, though we aren't open yet, so...
A business is always open to their customers. How dare you? The customer is always right, you know. I demand free food for this poor service.
Oh man, she's one of those. Those are the worst. The customer is not always right, okay, lady? Sometimes the customer is an entitled jerkface who demands more than the business offers, and that's really fucking rude. Get out of here.
Her hands were placed firmly on her hips. Free food? What does she think this is, a charity? I glared at her and pursed my lips.
Oh sure, I'll get right on that. We are closed, leave, or please come back later. Alright guys, you know that I always make a save whenever there's a choice, so we're gonna go ahead, throw down with that, and we're gonna see... Oh sure, I'll get right on that. We are closed, leave, or please come back later. I'm gonna say please come back later. I think that's the most diplomatic. It's between, you know, rolling over and being like, oh, here's your free food, and get the hell out of here, lady. So I think this one will work the most, and I have a feeling that Radley's gonna swoop in anyway and say something, because he's just that kind of guy. I feel like he definitely has feelings for Ginger and wants to protect her. So please come back later, lady.
As much as I wanted to give her a piece of my mind, I decided it was best not to upset another customer. I'm so sorry that you've been waiting here, ma'am, but right now we're closed and we don't even have any food ready. She let out a low growl. If looks could kill. If you come back later, I'm sure we can work out some sort of one-time discount, though I couldn't give you anything for free. We do have to make a living, you know? I laughed, but it came out sounding awkward. Man, this old lady is kind of intimidating.
Fine then, I will return later to get my free food.
I just realized something. She's short, her voice sounds like a man trying to be a woman, I wonder if it's Carver in a disguise trying to play a prank or trying to just get free food because he's a complete dickhead. I have a feeling that actually might be it.
She turned dramatically and threw the door open as she marched out with her head held high. Who does she think she is? The queen of pastries? Radley stopped sweeping and looked up at me.
Why would you give a woman like that a discount?
He looked at the door and then back at me, sounding confused, though his voice quickly switched to his usual annoying whine. She's been in here yelling at me all morning.
Well, then be happy she's gone.
He pouted at my words. I wasn't about to scare off another customer. I don't know what you want me to say, Rads. We need money. To get money, we need customers. We can't keep scaring them off. He finally stopped pouting and looked down to finish his sweeping. The silent treatment? Really? Was he upset? I looked outside and realized there was no time to worry about that. I wasted so much time on that woman, and if I didn't get to baking right now, then I wouldn't be able to open for the day.
Uh-oh. I hope that we didn't pick the wrong choice. I know that Radley obviously wanted us to tell her off, but at the same time, we have to make sure that the business, like there is a business for us to support still, that there's still a business to sell the Heartbaked at. So, Radley, sorry buddy, but that's the choice we gotta go with here.
I spent the next few hours in the kitchen, preparing delicious cakes and breads for the customers who weren't complete jerks. Apparently, the mayor finally made the announcement to the rest of the town that I would be the celebrated baker for this festival, which meant that, unfortunately, the rest of my day was packed with big orders and a shop filled to the brim with customers. As soon as the flow of customers died down for a minute, I ducked back into the kitchen where Radley had been tidying up whatever mess I made during the morning. Hey.
Uh-oh, hopefully he doesn't just, like, leave and we've missed a chance to flirt with him. Hey, Ginge! Busy day today!
He laughed it off with his usual energy. Good to see you aren't exhausted. Can you watch the front so that I can prepare some more cupcakes? I gave him a sweet smile, and he faltered for a second.
Sure thing, Ginge.
I watched him bounce out of the kitchen with so much energy. I had to wonder if he was just sitting around doing nothing back here.
No, I think it's because of the fact that we, didn't try forcing flirting. We just gave him a cute little smile, like something like tee-hee, and he was like, oh my god, my heart.
I sighed. He probably was. I grabbed one of the large bins of flour and rolled it over to a counter. 24 undecorated cupcakes were just waiting for me to dress them up and turn them into the most beautiful little things the world had ever known.
Either that or he played a prank, and he's super excited to see it come to fruition. Uh-oh.
I sat on the bin as I decorated each cupcake one by one, putting as much time, care, and love into each cupcake as I could manage. As I was finishing up, I heard voices coming from the front of the store, and I jumped off the bin with more energy than I had before. I placed each cupcake gently on a tray and walked out to the front to greet the customers. Hello, welcome to the... My greeting was cut short as I tripped over a small box that definitely was not supposed to be there. The cupcakes went flying and landed with soft thuds, spread across the bakery floor and landing at the feet of two customers.
Oh no. Come on, Radley.
I heard a few gasps as my heart broke. My beautiful creations were now ruined, never to be appreciated. I'm sorry about that. I forced myself to smile and apologize as quickly as I could.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, are you okay?
The two customers seemed to be more concerned with me, which was a relief, but also more embarrassing. I'm just fine, thank you. I cleared my throat and smiled as cheerily as I could. He can help you over at the counter. Thank you for coming to Ginger's Pastries. They smiled to each other and walked over to speak to Radley while I busied myself with cleaning up the ruined cakes. I kneeled on the ground and started picking them up one by one when suddenly I heard a sneeze. Oh no. Radley screamed out of pure horror and disgust, and I looked up just in time to see him rush into the kitchen, whimpering like he was about ready to cry. The three of us stared after him, and within a few seconds, there was a loud bang followed by an ow. I am so sorry about this. I jumped up. The customers looked horrified, and one of them was covering their mouth. I didn't sneeze on him, did I? No, I don't think so. They looked over at me and smiled. I'm sure you have things to check on. We'll just leave. Oh no, we're chasing away customers left and right. The one customer grabbed her bag of baked goods and dragged the other one out. I was almost too afraid to look in the kitchen. Radley? I crept towards the door and slowly opened it, afraid of what I would see. Radley was sitting in a pile of spilled flour. The bin had been knocked down, and the flour had spread everywhere. He jumped up and started trying to brush himself off with, of course, no results. He almost seemed ready to run out of the shop completely. Then he turned to me. I felt my heart sink in my chest. Today had been exhausting all on its own, but with the ruined cupcakes and now this?
Ginge, I'm sorry. This isn't usually here. I'll clean this up, I promise. I didn't mean to make a mess.
He panicked and started rambling. No, it's fine. You can go home. I'll deal with this. I sighed, bringing a hand up to my now throbbing head. Let's just see how today can get any worse. He studied my face, and it didn't take him long before he walked towards me and gently put a floured hand on my shoulder.
Really? Oh, how cute. Ginge, you need a break. Don't worry about it. I can clean this up.
He gave me a smile that I was sure was meant to cheer me up. It didn't.
Aw. Ginger.
Both of his hands were now on either shoulder, and he started shaking me back and forth while whining. What? I glared at him, and he immediately perked up. He took his hat off his head and dropped it on top of mine, sending a cloud of flour into the air and covering my hair with the powder. Radley! I grabbed his hat from him and hit him over the head with it. Are you trying to make a bigger mess? He only answered with a laugh and a few excited hops.
I actually love their relationship. They're really goofy together. Really cute stuff with this dialogue. I'll clean this up, Ginger.
Before I could stop him, he was already energetically rushing around the kitchen.
Aw, what a nice guy. So even though he faced his fear of germs, he was able to push past it because he wanted to help Ginger out so bad. So I almost feel like Ginger's not going to be the one who's the aggressor here. It's going to be more of Radley being like, hey, I'm warming up to you. Guess what? I've had these feelings for a long time. Let's go on a date or something like that. That would be really cute.
Cleaning completely random spots on the counters and sweeping small parts of the floor before moving on to the next area. Fine. If he wanted to clean this bad, he can. Though, I should probably thank him tomorrow. I closed the shop for the day and trudged up the stairs to my room. I felt like I was forgetting something. The cake! I was too tired to go back down the stairs to attempt and fail at flirting with Radley now. Tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow.
Aw, poor Ginger. So she really wanted to flirt with Radley still, but she wasn't able to. But at the same time, honestly, I think that was sort of Radley's way of flirting himself. He was sticking up for Ginger. He was saying like, hey, you should add more backbone with that lady who is rude. And then at the same time, because he obviously doesn't want to see her get yelled at or mistreated in any kind of way. And then also he wanted to make sure that he was cleaning up stuff. And like I said, he pushed past his own phobia so that he could help her clean up the kitchen because he saw that she had such a busy, hectic day. And I think that that's his own special way of just being a super sweet guy. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this episode here. This was a really cute game so far. I did also notice and want to point out, apparently, I'm assuming we probably made the wrong choice in some kind of way, because there's this bar that's above these numbers here that has a broken heart and a heart. And one of you pointed it out the other episode, saying that it was slowly filling up based on our decisions. So I have a feeling that we might have made the wrong decision with Radley. I don't know if there's enough chapters for us to fill it up all the way. We might have to have picked the correct choice every single chapter. And if we haven't, then I feel bad because I definitely want Ginger to end up with Radley. But I'm just going to be playing this blind and figuring it out myself. If it ends up that we don't get his good ending, then at the end of a regular playthrough, I'll probably do like a bonus episode where I end up with Radley just to show you guys what the possibility was like of being with him. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I really did. I love this game. Like I said, I like the music, I like the art, I like the polish, the dialogue, everything about this is a really well put together game. And hopefully you guys are enjoying watching it. If you are, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video and favorite it. Also be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you. And as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye.
Girbeagly.